Is there a conspiracy in this nation to bring down popular and powerful black men? There's a back and forth going on all through the commercial break here. I think this is really pushing some buttons. You say what?
My comment was we have to concern ourselves with these conspiracies. We say we have a conspiracy to bring down a black man, crack cocaine, AIDS. When you think about it, we all believe in that to some extent. But also, like, we have problems with the black youth, teenage boys, teenage girls. They believe in this as well. They say, what's the point, you know? We're just on crack. We get to a certain extent. We're going to marry a white woman. We're going to get brought down. We're going to have something else brought in to.
So what you're saying is, when even if it's a rumor or a thought that there's a conspiracy with AIDS, crack, and toppling powerful black men, that sends out the kind of message to our youth that our communities don't count. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Impact psychologically,
as adults,
yes.
We could rationalize it, but as kids, they just look at it and they say, we can't make it anyway, so why try?
Absolutely.
And one of the more damaging ones that we haven't talked about, it's not completely widespread, but it creeps up from time to time in communities of young black and minority women, that in the vaccinations that are given their infants, something is contained that sterilizes the infants. So we have young women whose babies desperately need those vaccinations.
But they're afraid to take them in for the care.
They're not taking them to be vaccinated because of the belief that there is a spermicide or there is something in the vaccination that will sterilize them. And so it has a very real impact on our future when people accept them on that level.
Well, this debate does, because if people are talking about conspiracies to wipe out a community, it makes the community absolutely paranoid about it for good reason.
And paralyzed. You become paranoid, then you become paralyzed, and then you give up. So if there really is any kind of a conspiracy, what we have to do is to not give up.
Right. And I'm also making the point that
you may want to react to it. You
Nick, we'll let you respond.
You may want to react to it. You may want to fight back.
Well, also, and somebody's making conspiracy as the thing that we're so focused on. I just want to underscore that, because that's how we end up looking at the world. It doesn't just come from anywhere.
Well, that is one of the reasons, Victoria, you're right. That is one of the reasons that we decided to pull together this show.
Because they're all over the place.
All of us hear these rumors. We hear the rumors. We wonder if there's a conspiracy. We hear people talk about it, whether we agree with it or not. We don't know. But we always believe that just talking things through at least put us all in find some least common denominator. Curtis, what do you say?
Well, we've heard the theory that there's a movement to deprive black men and women of political power in the country. Many black powerful political officials have been toppled. But right before the recent presidential elections, there were 5 black congressmen, congresswomen who were put into all-white districts by the Supreme Court. We say this was unfair. What happened? They won their elections. Mostly white people voted for these black congresspeople. They're all there. And if Colin Powell had run for president, Bill Clinton would be on Court TV today facing the charges of Paula Jones as the former president, because we would have all voted for Colin Powell, a great American black man.
What do you say?
Rolonda.
I just have to say that unfortunately I do not agree with my brother over here at the end that, you know, every black man that's in power is being challenged, is being put on a platform to be, you know, torn down. I just don't believe that's true. Now, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but what I am saying is that there are many powerful black men that are not being targeted to be destroyed, and I think we have to stop thinking in a handicapped way. I think there are a lot of black men, like if you are running a brewing company, you're not like propaganda, you're not Jordan, because you're in a different kind of industry. You know, if you're running a cable network, you're in a different kind of industry, so you're not in a limelight where people are that interested in you, because you're not an athlete.
Well, some people say Marion Barry was brought down. Here he was, many terms of mayor.
Marion Barry was doing what he was doing. I mean,
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
There are two things. First of all, I think that prominent African Americans face more scrutiny than others. Whether or not there are people in a room setting that scrutiny up, I think we all agree they face more scrutiny. Secondly, I think that most African Americans have an experience similar to mine when I was a little girl. When there was ever anything on the radio or on TV about an unsolved crime, my parents would start praying that he not be a black man. They would start this process. They would go to church. I remember Richard Speck, one of the first prominent serial killers, and there were days when those bodies were in the dormitory, and everyone wanted to know who had done this. And my parents were desperate that this not be a black man because of all of the attention, and they thought the crimes of one black man will set back the whole race.
It's true, and it's so funny that you say that. I don't know if this goes, but growing up The same thing would happen in my house. My parents would look at the news and go, Lord, please don't let him be black. Please don't let him be black.
Italian community. It's true in the Jewish community. It's true in the Catholic. This is something that is widespread. That people feel a certain sense of hope that it isn't of their own kind that blacks have experienced.
Can I just make two quick points?
Baby, quick.
Very quick.
One is there are conspiracies and then there are facts. In the 1970s, there was a report on a COINTELPRO report where it was exposed the role that the government of this country had infiltrated black organizations, participated in destroying the Panthers. There's also all kinds of concern around Malcolm's assassination and the surveillance of Dr. King. So these are real things that really happened. They're not conspiracies, and they're things that Americans need to understand better. The other point I want to make is if we have to wait for a smoking gun, like in the crack cocaine situation, if we need to see two CIA agents sitting on a video plotting taking crack into the black community, we miss the point that there are conspiracies about people conspiring because they want to make us feel insecure. I think that's a real
Is there
thing.
a conspiracy to make us not believe that they're UFOs? You believe in UFOs?
No.
No, you don't. Well, some people do. I mean, with the popularity of the hit science fiction television shows like The X-Files and Millennium, there is a resurgence and a big interest these days in UFOs and aliens. Why do so many believe in them? And why does this guy not? We'll talk about UFO conspiracies right after this.